A lot of people have heard the phrase, money is the root of all evil. But that's not actually what the original quote says. The full quote is that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I'd take it one step further. Money is not the root of all evil. Forgetting who you are while chasing it is. You see, money itself is neutral. It's a tool. But when we chase it without intention, when we compromise our values, abandon our peace, and disconnect from our purpose just to get more of it, that's where the damage happens. We've all seen it. People who get rich and lose themselves. People who are wealthy on paper but empty inside. It's not because you had too much money, it's because they lost their identity chasing it. I can confirm this from my own personal experiences. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it also isn't inherently evil. Let's break a common myth. You can be a good human being and wealthy at the same time. In fact, the more spiritually grounded you are, the more powerful your relationship with money becomes. Why is this? Well, it's because when you're connected to something higher than yourself, call it God, call it Source, the universe, call it whatever you're comfortable with. When you're connected to something bigger than yourself, you stop worshiping money as your master and you start using it as your servant. When you are connected to this source, you don't measure abundance by how much you hoard, but by how free you feel and how aligned your life is. And you stop asking, how can I get more? And start asking, how can I live more fully? How can I love more? And eventually you start to ask, how can I help other people also live their best lives? Because that is real wealth. And that's what this channel is all about. Here's a powerful truth. Money is just energy. It amplifies who you already are. If you're kind, money lets you tip generously, surprise loved ones, and meet other people's needs without hesitation. If you're driven, money gives you the resources to scale your vision, hire the right team, and turn dreams into legacy. If you're intentional, you'll invest, not just spend. Build, not just consume. But if you're addicted to the hustle, money won't slow you down. It'll make you grind harder, burn out faster, until you find your purpose. If you're insecure, money becomes a mask. You'll use it to impress, not to express, to validate, not to serve. If you're angry, money might give you power, but if you're not healed, you'll probably weaponize it. And this is probably where the idea that money is the root of all evil comes from. Look, the bottom line is, if you're lost, money won't help you find yourself. In fact, it might push you further into the fog. Think of money like a microphone. It doesn't change your voice. It just makes it louder. So before you obsess over getting more, ask yourself, who am I becoming? Because more money won't change your identity. It will just shine a bigger light on it. And if you don't heal your relationship with money, success can feel just as stressful as the struggle. So what I suggest is that everyone should align with their purpose. This is where things really start to shift. Stop chasing money. Start aligning with the core of what it is that you really desire. Again, money isn't inherently bad, but the chase, the grind with no soul, the hustle with no heart, that's where burnout, breakdown, and we start to betray ourselves. When you're aligned with your calling, money flows differently. It comes through relationships, through ideas, creativity, and through service of others. It shows up through divine timing and through unexpected doors. Because when your heart is in alignment, your life becomes magnetic. You attract the right people, you take the right risks, and you no longer need to hustle for validation. You see, when you're walking in faith instead of fear, the whole game changes. Let me say this clearly. Abundance is not the goal. It's the result. It's what happens when you show up with integrity, when you live in gratitude, when you pursue your calling and trust that your needs will be met. That doesn't mean that you won't have to work hard. Of course you will. but the energy shifts from desperation to devotion. And here's the beautiful part. When you're anchored in truth, your truth, money loses its grip on your identity. You stop performing for approval. You stop chasing validation through numbers. You start living from a place of wholeness. And from there, abundance doesn't just visit, it stays. So if you've ever felt torn between chasing wealth and being a good person that is true to yourself, let me remind you, you don't have to choose between the two. You can be faithful and financially free. You can live with purpose and enjoy prosperity. You can honor your values and still build the life of your dreams. I suggest chasing alignment, not validation, and watch what happens when your soul and your bank account are finally on the same team. Now, if this message resonates with you, please make sure to hit the like button and share with someone who you think needs to hear this message as well. This channel is dedicated to helping people create abundant lives that is in alignment with their truth, their spirit, and their soul. I've done it, and so can you. Stick with me, and I'll show you how. Subscribe for more content about money, mindset, manifesting, and meaning. And I'll see you on the next one.